Hello, I'm Kayla Mallon. In this video, we're going to take a look at MobyMax's Language module. The Language module is an adaptive curriculum, and it's the fastest way for students to learn the skills to be effective writers, because it finds and then fixes the skills that students are missing. When a student first signs in to the Language module, they will take a placement test. This test will determine where to place the student based on which language skills the student knows. Or, you can set which grade level to start the student. The language placement test is adaptive and will determine which grade level to place the student. But each student will have a different lesson sequence because students are missing different skills. See here, both Jacqueline and John were placed at the 4.6 grade level from the placement test. If you click on the grade level, we can see that although Jacqueline was placed at the 4.6 grade level, she is missing some skills in second grade, specifically in the formal and informal use of English. And when we take a look at her lessons, we can see that she has worked on that skill. And again, if we go back and look at John's 4.6 placement test score, we can see that he is missing some skills in third grade, specifically in subject-verb agreement and pronoun antecedent agreement. And again, when we look at his lessons, we can see that he worked on those specific skills that he was missing. Students are often missing skills from 2 or even 3 years ago, and teachers don't have the time or resources to help students with those missing skills. But with MobyMax, all of that is done for you automatically. Each lesson breaks down Common Core language standards into small, achievable skills with a Teach Me lesson. Each lesson begins with an animated Teach Me that teaches the student a particular skill and provides clear explanations of topics and grammar. The animated Teach Me is followed by a series of questions on the skill the student just learned with the Teach Me lesson. And if the student chooses the wrong answer, the answer feedback will help the student correct their mistakes and learn the concepts. The language module is adaptive. If a student passes their first lesson topic, they will move on to another skill. But if the student does not pass the first topic, they will be given an additional practice set on that lesson topic. As students complete lessons, you'll have access to detailed information on how students are progressing. If you click on the Completed Lessons tab, and then on the current lesson topic, you can see the scores for completed lessons. When you click on the student's score, you can see all of the questions that the student answered incorrectly and how much time the student spent on the question. We can see here that this student only spent 3 seconds on this question. So perhaps he hadn't spent enough time and needs to spend a little more time reading through his questions. As students go through the lessons, MobyMax will automatically track their progress. If you click on Progress, we can see a broad view of students' beginning and ending grade level, the number of standards passed, and their learning velocity. Learning velocity is the speed that the student is learning. It is calculated by the grade level increase divided by the time the student spends in the curriculum. The learning velocity can help compare the speed at which students are learning. If we click on a student's name, we can see how he or she is performing. Here, we see a summary report of his beginning and ending grade level broken down by grade level proficiency. Parents love looking at the progress the student is making by looking at the graph. We can see even more specific data if we click on the Detailed History link here. Here, We see his proficiency by grade, domain, and standard in the Common Core. Another section that Moby uses for progress monitoring is the assessment module. If you want a quick review of the standard or skill that you've been reviewing in class, you can assign an assessment. Check boxes for students' names here and then click the Assign New Test button. You can assign assessments by grade level, standard, or even specific skill. If you click on one of the standards, you can choose the skills that you can test on that standard. Assessments are a great way to find out whether the student knows a skill or not. Then, you can reassign lessons on that skill or go over the skill in your classroom based on the data that Moby gives you. There is a snapshot page that gives you an at-a-glance view of what the students are working on right now. If you click on a student's name, you will see the Student Dashboard report. The graphs and data give you a very detailed and accurate view into the student's work. Parents can also access this information through the Parent Portal to check on how their student is doing. On the Goals and IEP tab, you can set daily goals for your students to practice and create individualized education plans for students that are automatically tracked. Lastly, the Library tab is available for you to see the entire curriculum by grade level. With the MobyMax Language module, students will develop a deep understanding of grammar concepts that will make their writing more effective.